Hey everybody, welcome back to That's Some Bull with your host Nicholas Bull. And this episode, to teach their own, I am having on a new guest. And this new guest has been a friend for a long time and was mentioned in one of the previous podcasts as a story. So I might as well introduce you right now to him. Matthew Ponce, hop on the mic.
Hello everyone, hope you guys are doing well. My name's Matthew.
All right. Well, it's good to have you here, Matthew. So
Good to be here.
Okay, so how about this? Let's get a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I am 20 years old, not 21 yet.
Almost there.
Still waiting for the day to happen.
Exactly.
I am currently in school in the States, taking math education. Me and Nick have been neighbors since, what would you say, 10,
Since like 10 years old.
Yeah, it's crazy. We actually met during soccer, ever since we're little boys. And, yeah.
Okay, well, there you go.
About me.
There's a little bit about you.
About me,
So yeah, no, we've been neighbors. We're not relatively close neighbors, but in the neighborhood. So, we have a big group of us that still chat, but, So we've known each other since we played soccer together, and I remember the first time going over to his house. He was playing COD, eating his little lunch made for him. You were.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I remember I was like, who is this kid playing Call of Duty at age 10 or whatever? And that's this kid right here.
Yeah, my neighbors.
Which you would not expect, because he was like the nicest.
Yeah, I was a goody two-shoes. I didn't swear until like grade 8.
Yeah, until we turned to the dark side.
I turned to the dark side once high school hit.
Okay, well, let's talk about this for a minute here. So, you're in the school in the States right now. Not like super far, but
No, I'm just right across Lewiston.
Yeah, like in Buffalo. So,
Buffalo.
how's it like going to school in the States?
That's different. It's the people are a lot meaner. I'm saying. They have their accents are very, very strong. Heavy. Yeah. College. They say their O's, like basically with A's, like hacky. It pisses me off, and they all bully me for saying, like, Canadian terms. Like they call pencil crayons colored pencils, which kind of makes sense. But yeah, the portions are kind of insane compared to us. That's why they probably think that we're fat. Or sorry, Americans are fat. But yeah, I don't know. It's cool though. It's the age though for like drinking, and it's I had to get myself a fake ID. Don't tell Mama P for that.
Mama P.
Yeah, I was scared the first time. I was in Walmart, and I was like shaking and looking at the guy, but he let me go, thank God. But yeah, it's experience.
Okay. So there we go in terms of the States versus Canada in terms of education, because right here we're on my home turf, being a Canadian university. So, well, now that we've heard a little bit about yourself, not boot. I'm not super
Boots.
Canadian. Let's talk about something here. So, you're in school for education.
Yeah.
So that's like, teaching, of course.
Of course.
And you're gonna try and be a high school teacher, right?
Yes, high school math.
High school math teacher. So now that you've kind of been in classes and learning, like, what would you say, like, how does it feel that you're gonna be teaching the next generation?
It's kind of scary. I gotta shape them, to be like the best they can. Especially in this generation with like technology being so strong, like AI, that kind of does like, everyone's work. And especially in math, you can't really use ChatGPT because it's all like problem solving, I guess, and it's all like in the brain. So that's another thing I'm glad about with my career or my education. But yeah, I think it'd be a challenge though, because especially with technology, I feel like AI can like, replace teachers as well, and everything might turn online, which I hate doing online Zooms, because I can't see the students what they're doing. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's kind of hard. So.
Definitely, I definitely agree with you there.
Yeah.
Main reason why I just wanted to kind of bring the teacher thing up is because you're going to be a teacher, but you're also sitting in a room with a past teacher. Yes, because I was a sensei, as some of you know. But I thought it would be a good episode to just kind of bring up about teaching, because it's a very important thing for the future, because we need to pass on skills and stuff like that. I'm not saying my skills will translate as much as math skills, but
self-defense,
it will help out, right?
Like
so
safety.
And I mean, there are kind of more they vary a lot because, your teaching is more about mental versus mine, which is more physical, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's more so for, adding stuff up. It's going to be for people who maybe go into teaching, who go into engineering, all that kind of stuff, right? So it's almost like you're teaching the teachers, which is kind of crazy.
It is crazy. It's scary.
But yeah, so, no, but in terms of, like, teaching, what would you say, like, do you think you're getting, like, I mean, you've had some experiences in classrooms, right?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So, what would you say in terms of, like, being in those?
Well, my first, 2 years, my placement, as you call it, he was really horrible. He would just kind of give the students, like packages and said, just do them, right? And I was like, oh, that's not very teaching. And then when they would write tests, they would all do, like, a collaborative test, which, it's kind of pointless to me because, like, one person can do all the work and everyone just kind of follows and copies. But that's pretty much, I had the same guy for, like, 2 years now, so I haven't really been learning much of him, but my recent one, he's a lot more stricter, which I'm really glad, and he has, like, the class in line. He picks on them, though, which kind of, like, he, like, makes them, like, what's the word? Like, he centers them out in front of everyone else, and I don't think anyone wants to be, like, in that situation.
So it kind of, like, picks them out and kind of uses them as, like, a...
Yeah, so, like, the lowest grade has to sit in the front of the class, and, like, the best grade, I guess, it sits in the way in the back, so I guess you would know, like, in the seating, which is kind of sad, but it encourages them to do better, I guess, but, yeah.
I guess it's kind of brings in the mentality of you don't always get a participation trophy or a medal, I guess, right?
Yeah, but then some of the students are also slacking, though.
That
they're,
too.
like, sleeping on their desk, and it's like...
Yeah, because, I mean, it's kind of like, because they probably feel almost, like, demotivated by basically being put in a place like that.
Yeah, but it's also at home, though, like, especially at home, you don't know what's going on at home, so you don't want to assume, like, they're just sleeping because they don't want to be in school, or they haven't got, like, at all, like, any sleep at home. You don't know what's going on, right? So
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There's some good insight about education. I mean, like, the other thing, obviously, with teaching is the more you teach people, the better you get at it, or even the material, right? Like, I remember, like, when I was teaching kids, like, certain katas or moves, that I'd remember those better just because I taught them so much. And then other ones I didn't really teach as much. It just kind of swept my mind. So... same kind of way with, like, certain math concepts and different chapters and core concepts, whatever, that you would remember better, like, in those kind of ways. So, okay, well, that's a good stuff on education, I'd say, and it was good to kind of hear because, it's not always just about the teaching alone, but also, like, the student itself.
Yeah.
And knowing what to do and say with, different situations in each student.
Yeah, I think the relationship between the students and the teacher is very important too, because one of my teachers, Mr. DeLuca and Mr. Gumbali, actually kind of inspired me to be a teacher. Just the way that, I don't know, just like their energy towards us was, like, very inspiring, and, like, they seemed like they enjoyed their jobs, and, like, it seemed pretty fun, and just have a connection with the teacher too is important because you can, like, talk to them about anything. And,
So now we're talking about favorite teachers, huh?
No.
Well, you just did.
Okay, well, Mr. Gumbali, like, he also went to my school, Niagara University, so...
Oh, okay.
He also kind of pushed me in that direction.
He pushed you?
Yeah, he did, yeah. I miss him. Miigwech.
Okay. Well, if you're saying your favorite teachers, I'm going to bring up a few of mine.
Okay.
Well, I'd say for physics, it'd be Mr. Weber. Now, I got to give him the benefit of the doubt. He was teaching one of the harder subjects at school, and not everybody catches on to this stuff right away, but I think he did a good enough job to try his best to get everybody to understand it.
Who was that other guy that we had?
Mr.
Ward.
Mr. Ward,
I love that guy.
He was also really good too. He was a bit more younger, and he had a bit of a different approach because he kind of used references to certain things, but both did really well.
I tried to follow him on Instagram, but he declined it. So sad.
Well, no teacher and student relationship there, I guess.
Yeah, I know. He didn't like me there.
But yeah, so no, Mr. Weber for sure. But I'd say, everybody knows my number one after a while, being Mr. Antolin, of course. Because he's one of the most real ones out there, I'd say, in terms of, he makes you realize your potential. But at the same time, he's also very real with you. Because if you don't do your work, he'll get on you about it.
Yeah, I've been in his class the one time, actually. Actually, Nick, you want to tell this one? Where I was like, I was in a presentation, and I was, like, struggling to, like, find ideas here, and I said, I made, like, a bamboo hut, right? And then
bamboo hut.
A bamboo hut. And what was the project on again?
It was,
I actually forgot.
It was a space, like an exterior space.
Why did I do a bamboo hut? Anyway, so I don't know why I did that, but then I just pulled this out of my.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I just pulled it out of my ass and like I said, this is like my heritage, right? And that was complete bullshit. And he was like, oh, I love it, and I'm like, oh. Thank you. And he went,
I bet you. Do you want to know the reason why he loved that?
What is that?
Because you bullshitted that out so much. Because
I think I did it twice too. What was the second one?
I don't know. So because this is the thing.
Oh, the Australian.
Well, because you said my culture, but this is the thing. I'll tell you the story here. Yeah. So the project was we had to create this pavilion for an outdoor, an outdoor environment, right? Mm-hmm. So you basically had to choose something that kind of tied to nature, and then like model your pavilion around it. My bad there. What'll cut out on my part. Anyways, so you had to model a pavilion around nature. So personally, I chose a dragon, and what it was a water dragon that was for like a water park. Okay, and I was like, that's pretty sick or whatever, because I like dragons, and it was cool to kind of use water with it and like how to have it in a water park, right? But then I saw that this guy's over here, his project was like a bamboo hut, and I'm like, what are you gonna do? Because I know he did not work enough on that project, because he went to the dollar store, made a little bamboo hut, and that's how that went, right?
That's how it went.
Anyways, so then I'm like, okay, like there's no way he's gonna like sneak by this presentation with like getting away with it. So then he starts talking about it, and I could tell Mr. Antoine's look was like, oh yeah, it's not that crazy or whatever, because it was just like a bamboo hut. I could be wrong, unless he was really impressed, but I got a feeling he wasn't. But until he heard you say a key word,
culture.
Being my culture, and I was like, oh my god, there's no way this guy's using his culture as an excuse. But at the same time, I don't know your culture. I mean, do you know your culture?
Not really.
Okay.
I'm half Filipino, half British. So I guess it's not really my full culture, I'd say, but...
Yeah. So I'm not one to say that it's not, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't think you know that much in terms of your roots.
No, I don't. Not at all. I have a tattoo as well, and like I only searched up like the meanings of it. I'm not like super into it. But...
Does your family have any like family in the Philippines?
Yes. Yeah, okay. We do. They immigrated, most of them, to Canada.
But is there still some there?
Yeah, some of them are still there.
So are you going to go visit them one day?
One day, yeah.
I think you got to get out there.
It's a trip, though. Right?
It's a trip, but
like halfway around the world.
I think you got to know, though. You got to know what the culture is.
Yeah.
Instead of dropping culture, I don't know how to say this. Not that it's not correct, but just like, using it just as an excuse.
Poorly, yeah.
Because,
I understand that.
But we'll not get into that too much, because I feel like, certain times that happens, but most of the time people know. But I was like, you're bullshitting it. And you know why our teacher loved it so much? Because he knew that he BS'd that. And
did he do that?
He did, because you want to know what it is. He was kind of interested to see where you're going with it.
Yeah.
But the thing is he likes when people do that, because when people do that, that means they have like a creativity or some way to kind of come up with things on the spot, right?
Yeah.
Because not everyone can just be like, oh, you got to do this, do that, right? You have to kind of come up with a concept that was like just so out there, but you just kind of like had nothing to go with. No. So then you just kind of shot what you had from your hip.
Pretty much.
And used it and still succeeded.
Yeah, I got lucky in that one, to be honest with you. But
yeah, that's what I mean. Adaptability is a big thing in terms of knowing how to, in certain situations, just kind of come out, not on top per se, but just kind of be like, how do I say this? Be the one who, not wins. I'm trying to think of the way. Just like get away in a scenario where you would do better because of like coming up with an idea. Because it could be for like a presentation. It could be trying to teach someone. It could be anything, right?
Yeah.
So definitely that came out in your favor there.
Definitely did. I think I'll get mark on that, which I'm happy about.
Most of the time when it came to my projects, I tried to think well in advance about the concepts.
The box there. I think
But I was just more so inside the box, inside your bamboo hut, actually, instead of outside of the box. But yeah, no, because like there was the one project I did one year, which I was surprised of the mark I got on it. But you know what? I think it was you. Well, I don't think you were in the class that year, but it was
grade 12.
It was grade 12, and it's when I did the gateways. It was like the gateways of like the stars and space and all that stuff?
Yeah, I was definitely not there.
Okay, you weren't there, but you probably saw it because I brought it to first period. And
Yeah,
we were in first period.
I must have.
Anyways, because we had to make a again kind of this. It wasn't like a building or anything. It was just like a representation of a song, right? Because he told us pick 3 songs from these different points in time or whatever, and you have to draw them out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, kind of make it into something a bit more abstract, right? So I chose Day and Night by Kid Cudi because I was obsessed with Moon Knight, the show at the time. So, yeah.
2010, yeah, that one. Yeah,
so that one. And I was like, okay, I want to do something off that, right?
Yeah.
And I could tell you, like, literally, I couldn't figure out what to do for the life of me to draw it because I listened to this song probably over, like, 60 times. Like, 3 nights in a row, I listened to that, like, on repeat going to bed.
Really?
Like, that's how invested I was, just trying to think of how to do it.
Oh
and eventually I came up with an idea and then formed, like, this 3D structure around his album cover where it features, like, stars and spaces, and then made that into, like, a walkway, gateway, interactive experience thing. And he went crazy for it.
Oh, wow.
And I was surprised. I was like, really? Like, you like that much? But, yeah.
I have a confession. When we had to draw things tech design, I had like I don't know, I guess you can't see it, but it's like a light screen, I guess, and it's like glass, and I would like put light on it, and I would print out something that I would want to draw, and I basically just trace it. And I'm a horrible artist, and like
you damn cheater.
And, like my mom's like, Matthew, did you draw this? I'm like, no. And
jeez.
Yeah, it was the funniest thing. But.
Okay. So well, since we were kind of on music there for that one project. Let's talk about some music. How about that?
Music.
So you're the music guy, you know?
I am, yes.
You're always blasting music or whatever.
Yes.
But let's get into this here. I know I'm going to ask you a very hard question because I always ask on this thing, what's your favorite this or what's your favorite that? So you already know what the next question is going to be here.
Is it artist?
It could be artist, could be song, could be songs, plural. But I guess we'll go for, what, like, it doesn't have to be your favorite song, but what are a few of your favorite songs? And if you can't name them off the top of your head, you can use your phone.
Hold on here.
You gotta think?
Yeah, I gotta think.
Okay, well here, I'm gonna tell you a few of mine actually. So I've been making this this playlist on Spotify, and it's a little hard to do, but I've been trying to narrow down my top 10 favorite songs, which is, I can tell you, one of the hardest things that someone could do because, I have over 2,000 saved like songs on Spotify, which is pretty crazy.
Damn.
But if I were to tell you a few of my favorite songs right now, just in general, I feel like most of my songs kind of come from like the 2010s, but they're not all like kind of like, they're not party songs, they're not this or that. Like a few name was like Sweeping Sickness by City and Color, which features Gord Downey from the Tragically Hip. And I do really like the Tragically Hip, but I feel sometimes it's either a bit too slow or some ways it's just like, it's more for a certain vibe.
Yeah.
But like in this song, it's a bit more of a sad song, but it's not like super depressing. It's kind of upbeat and catchy. But it just kind of has not a great message. It's like talking about him like drowning in his sickness, basically. But But I mean, it has a good sound, and I like how like the guitar hits in it. So that "Life Is a Highway" by Rascal Flatts, a classic. I love that song. Another one is by Foster the People, like "Sit Next to Me." I really like that one. There's a lot of other songs too that I like really enjoy, but like those are a few that are just kind of like really prevalent right now.
Yeah.
But so like what about you? Let's hear some of yours.
I don't know. I like songs like I used to dance back in the day.
Okay.
I used to do hip hop and like break dance. So I only listen to songs that have like really nice beat and like not so much slow songs, but like I don't know how to explain it, but it's like a lot of bass and like tempos.
Okay.
So
how about a few artists? Let's hear some artists then.
Some artists then. Oof. Definitely The Weeknd.
Okay.
Bruno Mars for sure.
I know that.
Michael Jackson. I think it's like my start of my love for music.
Okay.
Who else? Who else do I like? I like Drake sometimes. Only some of the slower songs for him. Who else do I like? I'm starting to like what do you call it? What's his face?
Who is it?
The Kid Laroi.
Kid Laroi. Okay.
I know he's young, but his music's.
So you're a bit more of that newer kind of era, right? In terms of music.
there's an old artist, Mary J. Or is it Mary J. Blige, yes. And the song I like by her is Family Affair.
Okay.
That one's like very what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? It's like
funky?
Funky. No.
Upbeat?
Upbeat, yes, that's the word.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, so cuz
it gets me moving.
So kind of like what a song is to you, it's more so about the like maybe upbeat.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about the
slow songs.
No, but the lyrics of the songs.
Really?
I only care about like the instrumental part of the songs.
That makes sense, I guess.
I don't really listen to like what they're saying, honestly.
Because that's the other thing. I feel like, when people ask you like what your favorite song is or songs, like there's collections you kind of like piece them into. Like, some people have like sad songs or happy songs or like workout mixes that they listen to.
Yeah.
And but like in terms of like favorites, I feel like they're kind of songs, not that you can listen on repeat, but once it comes on, it kind of brings you to a place, right?
Yeah,
like where you're just kind of like, it's almost like your own kind of, I don't want to say paradise, but it almost brings you to the scene. Like whether if it's a good scene or a bad scene, it's almost like, like one song I have, right, the Foster the People song, like Sit Next to Me, it just gives me like summer feel,
vibes, yeah.
Summer vibes. And, like, I just kind of feel, like, transported to, like, a beach almost.
Mm-hmm.
And or even just, like, on a road trip, like, in the car with some, like, friends or whatever.
Yeah.
And it just feels like that. That feels like summer to me.
Oh, okay.
But, like, other songs, it's a bit more, like, I need to listen late at night because it just has a bit of a different feel. Like, the two songs, like, Sweeping Sickness. But then another one that I also like listening to late at night is Stars in the Sky by Kid Cudi. Because
I know
that song, I don't know what it is, but like if you're driving in the dark with that song on, it's so fun.
Yeah.
Like especially like it's, even though it's part of one of the Sonic movies, which I really like Sonic, and they have some very tragic backstories, aka Shadow.
Oh. He's my favorite character.
Do you know what happens with Shadow?
I didn't watch the movie. So
there's not even the movie, but it's in the games and stuff. But he has a really sad backstory.
Oh, didn't his parents die?
No, he didn't have parents.
Oh.
It's somebody who had a really deep connection to, and then like lost.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, and it was crazy because last night I was on like TikTok or whatever, and I saw like him pop up, and he was like, it was like a speech that he gave in this animated show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like the thing is crazy because some of these shows, they just have like insane messages in them, like whether animated, live action, this or that like are just, I think, are like crazy themes to think of, because there's some stuff you think of it in daily life or whatever, but
right,
like,
yeah.
But like an example, like you saying like, you took her away from me, and like I couldn't, like, like she couldn't like live because of me, because I was like here or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like that was a crazy statement to me, that basically because he existed, she couldn't.
That's sad.
It is sad. So there's that. But in terms of, like, let's go off TV shows now, because I just kind of brought that up. Right? So how about this? We'll get into yours first. And I want to hear some deep reasons attached to why you like those shows. Because I know out of face front, you're kind of like, I like these shows because they're popular on Netflix. But no, you got to give a reason. And I'll allow you for only one of the shows to say, sure, somebody's hot in it. And that's the reason. Yeah, because I know you're going to say that. So let's go.
I mean, the only shows I really watched were Outer Banks and Stranger Things. And I watched Squid Games, but that was just because I was...
So very big Netflix boy here.
Yeah, I don't
That's
really
what
watch...
I'm hearing, Netflix boy.
Yeah, I don't really watch anything other... I don't really watch shows in general. I'm more of a movie guy.
Okay, movie guy.
But I like Stranger Things just because it's the plot, I guess. And just, it's like monsters and aliens, I guess.
But you kind of watch stuff more for, like... How do I say this? That entertainment value, right?
Yeah, I don't watch... Yeah.
Like, you don't even watch... Like, not even that it's not entertainment, but just, like, kind of those more, like... Like, because there's a thing. There's the tip... Like, there's movie enjoyers. Then there's kind of, like, the hardcore fans.
I'm not a hardcore fan.
Then there's kind of more critics. And then, like, the very, like, niche movie film watchers that watch these, like, specific films from certain pieces and that. And, like... I'd say, like, I'm trying to get more into that, like, critic space. Because, like, right now I'm more of, like, a fan of certain things and stuff. Like, I think we both like action comedies and that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And, not really drama, but, like, stuff like that, right? Where it's a bit more, like, not super, like, lighthearted, but there could be some other stuff going on there. But, like, franchises, maybe not franchises, just kind of, like, movies with some, like, big actors and stuff like that. But... Okay, so now we know your TV shows and then your movie stuff.
Yeah.
But
I'm talking about Outer Banks though.
Okay, what's your Outer Banks?
Yeah, well, I only like the show pretty much because of, well, again, the plot, but also because of Madeline Klein. You know, she's my celebrity crush. Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, I guess so.
And yeah, it's the plot. But the last season, I hate that season. Yeah,
okay.
I don't want to spoil anyone.
Yeah, no, I will say they did do some crazy stuff in that last season. Like that was kind of heartbreaking. Yeah. But you got to admit that there you go. There was some emotional depth.
Oh, there was 100%.
I gotta be honest.
I shed a tear.
I kind of hate watched Outer Banks.
Really?
Well, because everybody was saying, "Oh, you gotta watch Outer Banks," and they said they hate that I watch Cobra Kai.
Oh yeah, sorry, that's another show.
Well, yeah, that's another show.
I watch with you guys. I don't really watch it by myself.
Yeah. But like Cobra Kai, I think is a good show. Not just because of the like quality of it, because I know at times it's very cringy and stuff like that. But it's one of the only shows that's actually made from like karate or that, other than like the Karate Kid and then other specific like genre movies like the IP Man and Jackie Chan's movies with like kung fu and stuff. But I think it just kind of depicts kind of like a good like student-teacher relationship, and how that kind of works with that, right? And you know, I think it's just a good show. But both Outer Banks and Cobra Kai did do an interesting thing in their finales for their like current seasons right now, which is a little unexpected. But back to like the Outer Banks thing, like I did honestly, just because you're like, oh yeah, it's so good, and I'm like, no, it isn't. The character's name is John B. Like, come on, like they couldn't name him John.
I didn't really like John B. But, like I only like JJ and Rafe and all those guys. Just they weren't as cringy, but
fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I'd hear John B. I'm like, oh my gosh, John B. Like, who cares? But no, I did watch the show, and I will say like there was some interesting stuff that they did. Like, I mean, at first it kind of starts off as that kind of like teen drama stuff with, you know, like John B. and like Sarah Cameron and stuff like that. But I found like what they did with like Pope in the one season was really cool. Like
which one?
The cross.
Yeah, that was good.
Like I was like, that's actually pretty good that they kind of tied it to him like that. And then in the current season, how they tied like the treasure to JJ and his history and heritage.
Yeah, it's like each Pogue has like their own like backstory.
Yeah,
that was kind of cool.
So I kind of liked how they kind of dove a bit more into that instead of like John B's dad or the other, or what's his name?
Ward.
Yeah, Ward. Or like how he's like this, you know, this kind of guy. So they didn't like focus on only those guys. But kind of moving into the TV shows I've watched as of recent and like really loved. Like I'd say the two that and listen, I'm not an Apple guy whatsoever. I don't have an Apple phone. I don't have the AirPods. I don't have any of those. But I gotta admit, Apple TV, one of the best streaming like things that I've seen.
You think so?
Yeah, I'd say.
I haven't even been using it.
Use it. Go get yourself like a subscription for like a month. Yeah. Just a month, and I'd say go watch 3 shows, and you'll be like, holy shit! Like Nick, you're right. These 3 shows or these 4 shows really are really good, top quality shows. Because I think it's the way they shoot it with the cameras, but also even like how it's written and stuff is crazy.
Yeah.
So the 2 being Shrinking and Ted Lasso. Now I've talked about Ted Lasso before, and everybody knows I kind of quote him a little bit, not all the time. But Shrinking just came out with season 2 this past fall or whatever. And if you haven't watched that show, go watch that show. And I'm not like I know I say a lot of stuff where it's like, go watch the new Fast and Furious movie, go watch this new spy movie, or watch the new Marvel movie. And you know, those are fun depending on who you are. But no matter who you are, I think you would enjoy Shrinking whatsoever. Because like it deals with some stuff that everybody deals with.
Yeah, okay. So it's kind of like relating.
Well, because I feel like that's what shows have to do. They have to relate to you, you know?
Yeah.
Because then that kind of gets you engaged in it, right?
Right.
But like in this show, I mean, the premise starts off where it's about this therapist that he lost his wife in a car accident.
Right.
And he has a daughter, but like because of her dying, he kind of like almost, how do I say this? Like faded away.
Oh.
Or he almost like just fell into drugs and alcohol to solve his problems. Yeah, meanwhile, he still had a daughter to raise and all that stuff, right? And I mean, it is a dark premise for a show, but it does it really well because he's a therapist and it's kind of crazy to see someone who's giving other people advice went through something so dark.
So dark, right?
But
yeah.
You'll see through like the story of the show that kind of pulls himself out of it. But it's also it's not just because of like that story alone. There's a bunch of characters in the show that go through their own tribes and tribulations, right? And each of them you could kind of relate to in a certain way, and like it's crazy. Like I'd say like above else, go watch Shrinking, just because it has some of the best like. If you don't go to therapy, if you don't need therapy, sure, doesn't matter. If you like go to therapy and all that, that's fine as well. But like this show is almost like a personal therapy, in my opinion.
Personal therapy.
Just watching it kind of made you feel good because you'd like, I'd say like, I'd like laugh or this or that at it, but other times like you get a bit teary eyed because of how like the stuff in it gets portrayed, right? Because like in the like almost this, I think it was the season finale, like something dark almost happens, and like in the moment, like I was just like a feeling kind of came over me that it's just like insane of like what's going on here, like how it just what this character's gonna do, like because of what happened to him, right? Or what he did actually, and eventually it gets better, like what happens, but like just the moment building up to it, it's just like it's so, how do I say this? It's not like you're like on the edge of your seat, but you're just like you're tearing up because of how sad it is.
Oh.
But no, like again, I'm gonna say it for the third time, final time in this episode. Go watch Shrinking. Because anybody I've recommended it to, they've watched one or a few episodes and they loved it. Awesome. I'm not saying they got hooked and watched the rest of the series, because it was actually my mom and my cousin, because they were on a flight and they offered one, like so the episodes 1 to 3 and I told them watch it whenever you can, and they saw it on there like, oh, we should watch it. And because my mom was like, oh, Nick said it was a really good show, we should watch it or whatever. So then they watched it and they loved it. But because it was on the plane, they couldn't like watch it any more of it, because it was like episodes 1 to 3, right?
Oh, it's one of those ones.
Yeah, it was like a trial on the plane or whatever, and they're like, "Damn, we need to watch more."
No, I hate when they do that.
So, but Apple TV just had a free weekend the past weekend or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And I watched season 2, like binge watched it. Binge watched it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, good thing I did, because. And I'm excited for season 3 because season 3 is on the way. But each season apparently kind of has like one word focus. Like the first one's like grief.
Yeah.
Second one's like, I think it was like forgiveness. And then the third one they haven't announced yet. But it kind of goes from those cycles, right?
That's neat.
But yeah, so I guess we'll get off the topic of series for a bit. Just because we've been talking about that for a little bit.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
So let's talk about, because you talked about before about food. So I've talked about food on this podcast before, right?
Oh, have you? Yeah.
I've talked about my like favorite types of food and my meals. So actually, here's a good thing. We'll tie in it was a bit more of like a self vodcast or podcast video. So it's just kind of like me talking to you guys. But now that we have a guest on here, we can bring it up.
Okay.
So let's hear it from you. What is your favorite food?
Food. I'm a basic guy. I'm very picky with my type of food. So if I go to restaurants, I would get just like plain old pasta, some chicken, some vegetables. That's like my main meal, I'd say. I would usually eat that before like games, like hockey and stuff, and like soccer. I like Mexican. I love Mexican.
Okay, like what kind of Mexican food?
Just like
tacos, burritos.
Yeah, that's just the like the plain, I guess.
Okay.
Indian, I love curry.
Got it.
I like that.
Which kind of curry? Like the butter chicken?
Butter chicken curry, yes. Actually, I had that at school. That's what I've been trying lately.
That's good.
I like seafood, but only certain types. I hate sushi.
We're going to get you all on it.
I know this guy loves sushi. I hate sushi. I'm a huge shrimp guy. I love that.
Okay.
Let's see. What else do I eat? Thai food. I love Thai food.
Okay.
Thai food and Greek. That's another one.
Thai food and Greek.
Our family is huge on Greek too, and they love it. We go like the same place not every weekend, but like once every weekend. It's really good. Yeah, but other than that, I'm pretty picky with my food though. I can't have. I don't like trying new things, which is something I should probably open up to.
Yeah.
But I know Nick's been trying to.
I've been trying to open up his senses.
Yeah, my senses.
The big thing that I've tried to get my friends to do is try new things, because the thing is this: if you stay in that same rut, you got to get out of it, right?
Right.
because, we've had some stuff happen to friend groups and stuff recently, and I feel like, it's better if, not better. It's just that you need to get out and do things, right? Because, if you stick to the same stuff, it gets boring, right?
Right, yeah, I get that.
Like over the break, I went with like my dad and some of his buddies to this, what's it called? It was a golf simulation place. It was like a virtual golf thing. You bring your clubs, you hit it or whatever.
Yeah.
And open 24/7 a week.
Yeah, that's nice.
So you just book it online, go. You bring like food and drinks or whatever.
Yeah.
Boom. Play some golf for a few hours, and then you go hang out wherever.
That's all you need, right?
That's all you need, just for a night or whatever.
That's for a night, yeah.
But that's what I mean. It's just good to do new things. Like today, after this podcast, I think we're gonna go to our cafe and eat some food there.
Get some food.
After that, though, we're gonna go. I think we're gonna go rock climbing, or what did Evan call it? Bouldering.
Bouldering. I think it's rock.
Whatever
climbing.
it is.
That was the place that he was talking about.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not a big rock climbing guy. Never been a big rock climbing guy.
I haven't been either.
But I need to get better at things that I'm not good at, or like just always try different things, right? So, what else? I'm trying to think. Like so like rock climbing. I've been meaning to do a lot more skating and stuff because since I was like a kid, I've never really liked skating or hockey because I put on this skate sort of. This guy's a big hockey guy.
I love hockey.
Hockey star over here.
I love hockey.
Future NHL. No, I'm kidding.
No, I am retired from that.
I know you're retired.
I'm in beer league now.
Yeah, beer league. Yeah. But no, because I played hockey when I was younger, and I mean if I stuck with it a bit longer, maybe I'd have a bit more of a liking to it, but it was just, skates felt awkward on my feet.
It's definitely something you
tire
can't,
me out.
You can't, leave and then come back to. Like, your stamina, oh my god. I came back from, hold on. It was COVID, that's when I stopped playing hockey. And then I started recently get back into it once I got into school, and my cardio, man, is, it's gross.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a...
Well, see, I only quit hockey because it was to do karate.
Yeah.
Because at the certain time, I couldn't kind of juggle two sports at once because they were around the same time.
Right.
Later on, I actually did with soccer and karate, which was fun, but it was hard. But yeah, no, that's the only reason why I kind of quit hockey because, hockey was. It's a cool sport and that, and I mean, I'm not a huge fan in terms of watching and stuff, but we get together and watch the games, and it's fun to watch it now versus back then, because back then I'm like, it's just a puck on ice, people hitting it back and forth, who cares? But it was a big choice to kind of leave hockey versus karate, just because I felt like hockey, you'd play through the years, you get some more friends on your team or whatever, boom, that's it.
Right.
Versus karate, I felt like there's progression, belt systems.
It's like a
new moves and stuff like this you'd learn. Like some of the stuff we learned was pretty crazy. I mean, there's a lot more crazier stuff as the belts go up.
Yeah, for sure.
One of my favorites, the flying scissor kick. I still haven't used it on someone, but it's a fun thing to learn.
Yeah, I would hurt myself if I tried that. So.
Yeah, but anyways, so that's what else we got. Oh, back to food. We were talking about food. Because you already said a bunch of your favorite foods, but I'm going to ask you the question I asked myself along with... I didn't ask everybody else, but obviously you could do it in the comments. You could do it in this video. Or you're going to be on the podcast eventually. Mm-hmm. So whenever that happens, let's ask you, what is your favorite meal?
Favorite meal?
So, okay, I'll pose this. So... Food I'd say kind of like, how about this? It's like, it's the different food genres, the types. Your butter chicken, your what's it called again? Pad Thai, your pho, your steak, your soup, your salad, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But meal, you could attribute it like this. You could either say, a grouping of foods, right? So you have Thanksgiving dinner. What's in Thanksgiving dinner? You have your turkey, you have your stuffing, you have your this, that, right? Mm-hmm. But then you have versus meal, where you can almost attribute it to who you're eating with, where you're eating with, something that happened before, something that happened after, something that happened during. But almost just at a point in time where it's when you were having this food or whatever, you're just damn, it's just a good experience or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So could you think of a time like where it's like your favorite meal, where it's like you could be out eating, could be at home, could be at a family member's house, anything? Or do you need a minute to think on that?
I would say steak and poutine. I had that like when I was up skiing one time, and that was like my favorite meal, and like I couldn't get enough of it.
Okay.
I know it's not healthy, probably not, but like I'd say my dream meal though is let's see, I would say steak with some mashed potatoes, and with a side of Yorkshires. Oh, you know what Yorkshires are?
Yorkshire pudding.
Yeah. Is it pudding? I don't know. It's like a bread.
Well, they call it pudding.
Oh, okay, it's pudding.
But it's like a bread roll.
Yeah, and then some veggies in there. You get some gravy. Oh, that is top tier right
It's a very typical.
Yeah, very typical.
How about this? But I did talk about this, that we should get to it at one point, but I mean they make whole episodes on this and actually cook the food.
Mm-hmm.
But how about this? What about your last meal? Last day on Earth. You get to choose. How about this? I'll give you. We can do 3 sides. So like sides are kind of like, let's say, your veggie dishes, your appetizers at restaurants, stuff like that, right? We'll give you 3 entrees.
Okay.
So that could be meats, could be big platters of stuff, something like that, where you go out and get that, right?
Yeah.
And then you can do 3 desserts. Okay.
3 desserts.
So
is there a main meal though, or no?
Huh?
Is there like the main course?
The main course is the entrees.
Oh, it's the entrees. Okay.
Right? So you get to choose 3 sides, 3 entrees, 3 desserts. Okay, we just got to cut off there again. A little bit of a thing going on in the vodcast today, but it's okay. So back to what I was saying. So 3 sides, 3 entrees, 3 desserts. So I'm going to tell you, how about this? I mean, I've done a lot of talking, but do you kind of know what you want to put down yet or no?
3 sides. So I'm gonna do some French fries.
Okay,
classic. A Caesar salad. And I'm gonna get a toasted garlic bread.
Toasted garlic bread. Okay.
Yes, I love that.
So we're making a very kind of classic. You know, you could probably find this at an Olive Garden.
Oh, yeah, don't tell
me. Or Kelsey's.
Or Kelsey's. Do Kelsey's have bread there? Yeah.
They got fries. They got Caesar, and I'm sure they do have garlic toast. Okay.
That's all they really have, right?
What about entrees?
Some entrees.
So we're talking like it could be meats, it could be a big veggie dish, it could be ethnic foods.
Ethnic foods.
Like a dish like that.
I'm gonna say I would say chicken fried rice.
Chicken fried rice.
I love chicken fried rice.
Okay.
Can I add some stuff into it or no?
Well, I mean, you could add your eggs and stuff like that.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So chicken fried rice. What else?
Give me some. Give me some torpedo shrimp.
Torpedo shrimp. Okay.
Torpedo shrimp.
All right.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna to go with Kung Pao chicken.
Kung Pao chicken. Okay. So we kind of went from like your typical Kelsey's to like Chinese restaurant. Okay.
Yes, I'm not saying Chinese food.
So this is like what you're gonna eat before you die.
Yes, I know.
Okay. Three desserts now.
3 desserts, lava cake.
Lava cake.
Yeah. Let's see here. Ice cream pie.
Ice cream pie?
Yeah, fucking love that. And what's another dessert?
Really think on it.
I know, I'm trying to think about this now.
Come on, there's gotta be
creme brulee.
Creme brulee. Okay. All right, so now we got your last meal. So let's talk about my last meals.
Okay.
So I'd say for sides. For sides. I definitely have to put. I gotta eat some of this rice pilaf before I go. It's a family recipe. It's like rice with noodles and like butter and onions.
That sounds
amazing. In terms of some other sides here, a nice good like roasted garlic potatoes. Never could do me wrong.
Potatoes.
And I'd also have to say roasted beets and carrots. Those are so good. Beets and carrots are really good.
Yeah.
Entrees. Okay, on to entrees. Well, you can't go out without having like either surf and turf or something like that. So I definitely have to go with like some kind of really good cooked steak.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm gonna have to say probably like a sushi of some sort, so like a sushi platter, but like being like tuna, salmon, and like a butterfish kind of mixture.
Right.
But in terms of my final entree, I'd have to say we have to go a little bit different here. We got to do, because I already did a surf and a turf, so what's something really good that I've had? Oh, man.
I love fish and chips.
Fish and chips is good, but no way. Not making the list. It's got to be, I'm going to go with, see. Tandoori chicken.
I don't think I've ever had
It's an Indian dish where they cook it like in this like tandoori ovens.
Oh, sweet.
Desserts. Well, I can name you some pretty easily. Pumpkin pie, gotta have it.
Not a fan of that.
I know you're not a fan of it. Creme brulee, I will agree with him, but also tiramisu. And I think that's only if I'm thinking right now in terms of 3 sides, 3 entrees, 3 desserts, okay?
Yeah.
So now, that kind of wraps it up to the end, but I want to bring up one last thing before we kind of end it.
One last thing, let's do it.
Or I could keep continuing, but I think we're going to end it here, but we're going to do something else cool next.
Okay.
So, but we're going to do this. So, based on fries, you put fries in your final meal.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing about fries is this. In terms of fast food, okay? There's a...
Wendy's.
Okay. But I gotta... Okay, sure, yeah. Wendy's. Okay, that's your favorite fries.
Favorite fries.
I know people say Golden Arches. People say Wendy's.
Is that what you're going with?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'd say like Five Guys, just based on taste and them shoveling it alone.
Yeah, McDonald's though, they're just like shrivelly and...
Depends when you get it.
I feel. Yeah, that's
but I will say this, but that's not the main reason I brought up fries. So we now know our favorite places because that's one thing.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, do you think fries are needed all the time?
No.
No.
Absolutely not.
Because I mean, like, I feel like fries are just like shoveling it in your mouth, just to kind of make you feel a bit more full. You know, you're not always going for the fries. Like, I mean, if you're getting poutine, there you go, or poutine. But fries alone, no way.
No way. Yeah.
So, I think that wraps up the episode here. To teach their own. So, thank you very much, everybody, and that's always been some bowl for you. So, we'll see you next time.